Szanowni Państwo, dzień dobry. Ladies and gentlemen, what a pleasure to welcome you to this incredible ceremony. And what a pleasure to welcome you to Poland, to our beautiful city of Warsaw. And we are happy to announce that design is doing just fine in Poland. And I think this building, this beautiful auditorium, is one of the best examples of new, fantastic Polish design. But first of all, we are really privileged to welcome you to the second edition of DesignEuropa Awards, organized by European Union Intellectual Property Office. My name is Piotr Kraszko, this is my fantastic colleague Anna Kalczyńska, and I will be honored to spend this hour with you, being a part of this fantastic ceremony.
And please welcome to the beautiful surroundings, as you said, Piotr, of the POLIN Conference Centre. I am sure you've had the chance to admire this beautiful and extraordinary building. It is one of our architectural jewels, we can say, and one of the most moving and striking constructions in Europe. So we are all very pleased and honored to welcome you all here.
We have exciting ceremony for you all to look forward. We have 8 excellent finalists designed here today. They belong to 8 companies who are truly world-class. The range and depth of products they have created is extraordinary.
Yes, 8 finalists, 4 for each category. Very soon we'll be revealing the winners of the Small and Emerging Companies and Industry Awards. 2 categories, 2 completely different types of companies, but they are all linked by great design.
And later on, we'll be honoring the extraordinary career of a great European designer whose name is known around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, our Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Hartmut Esslinger. Big round of applause.
Let's get started. We will, of course, begin by welcoming our esteemed guests today.
We are honored by the presence of high representatives of European Union member states, and we are also very pleased to welcome many members of international organizations that have traveled to Warsaw today.
Ladies and gentlemen, to formally open this second edition of DesignEuropa Awards, please give a warm applause and warm welcome to the Executive Director of the European Union Intellectual Property Office, Christian Archambault.
Welcome to the second edition of DesignEuropa Awards. These awards were created by the EUIPO after consulting widely in order to celebrate great design. Specifically, they honor the users of the EU intellectual property system who have brought their creativity to the market with the protection of the Registered Community Design, or RCD. Let's remember that registering a design is very quick, simple and inexpensive, with a registration certificate obtained within a few days normally, and sometimes literally in a matter of hours. The objective of these awards is therefore to publicize the RCD and in parallel reward excellence in design, design protection and IP management. The awards are held every 2 years, and for the second edition, after the very successful inaugural event in Milan in 2016, we are very honored to be here in Warsaw. We chose Warsaw firstly because of the very long history of creativity and invention of Poland and the Polish people, and secondly because our colleagues of the Polish Patent Office are celebrating their 100th anniversary. The idea was to create a real buzz around intellectual property and around design in particular. The best way of doing that is, as always, to join forces. Already, it seems that the DesignEuropa Award are becoming a high point of the IP calendar, and we are very grateful for the support of everyone who is making them such a success. In addition to the participating designers and their companies, plus their friends and families, we are delighted to be joined by our colleagues from the Polish Patent Office and by our other honored guests from Poland. I would warmly welcome the representatives of national and regional IP offices, the leading designers, academics, and business people, and the members of the network of the European Observatory on Infringements of Intellectual Property Rights, which is holding an important meeting here today in Warsaw as well. Hopefully, everyone is going to really enjoy a great event. As our favorite IP examiner, Albert Einstein, once said, plans are nothing. Planning is everything. Planning and flexibility on the part of everyone is what makes this work, and of course, I have to thank all involved, starting with our own staff of EUIPO. The team created the audiovisual elements, designed the trophies, and with the help of other staff, sifted 600 applications down to the selection dealt with by our jury. I want to mention once again the leadership of Luisa Bocchietto and the dedication of the jury members. I would also say a special thank you to my predecessor, Executive Director of the EUIPO, Antonio Campinos, who joined the jury at a very busy time following his career transition to the European Patent Office. Congratulations to all of the jury for their hard work and for choosing really excellent group of finalists. Chapeau. This was not an easy task given the quality of the entries, which covered a complete range of products, including many new sectors. Last but not least, thank you to the great designers, Hartmut Esslinger, our Lifetime Achievement Award winner, and to the 8 finalists. We are also grateful to all those who took part but did not on this occasion meet with success. I would say to everyone, keep on doing what you do best and help us design a better world. Design is so important in the age of change. It is Europe's hope for the future in a global context that is becoming ever more complex and competitive. Of course, there is the economic aspect, and I touched upon that when I spoke last night at the gala dinner celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Polish Patent Office. Since IP rights are typically used together in a complementary fashion, it is difficult to accurately extract the value of design on their own. However, our research with the observatory shows that industries using design intensively account for 13.4% of the European Union's GDP, and support more than 38 million jobs directly or indirectly. Design-intensive industries also pay higher wages and account for well over half of EU export, delivering a positive trade balance in excess of 20 billion euros annually. But while great design is the unique selling point of many European products, it is not just an economic imperative, it is also a cultural and historical one. Our shared history as Europeans stretches from Greek and Roman times via the Renaissance through the Enlightenment to the First Industrial Revolution, which brought the ages of steam. In our generation, we have seen the light bulb, telephone, and internal combustion engine from the Second Industrial Revolution make space for the personal computer and the Internet of the digital revolution. Today, we are experiencing the challenges of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which is blurring the lines between physical, digital, and biological spheres. In the face of increasing number of IP rights, the acceleration of competition for attention of products and the waves of change being brought in by the Fourth Industrial Revolution, design has never been more important. The advent of 3D printing means that jewelry, works of art, clothing, and sport equipment can all be 3D printed in the home, and the trend towards additive manufacturing is transforming industrial supply chains. For many sophisticated engineering products, just as much value is tied up in the design right and manufacturing instruction as exists in the final product. We have factories dedicated to producing 3D printed parts for trucks, aircraft, and machinery. In the medical applications, we have 3D printed dental plates and inserts to treat spinal injuries. And in sport, we have companies making 3D printed running shoes. We also see the rise in importance of robots and artificial intelligence that is changing the future of work with implication not just for IP offices, but for everyone in their daily life. It is also potentially challenging for the enforcement of IP rights, which is an integral part of a well-functioning IP system. We need to concentrate on the things that robots cannot do, or at least cannot do well. And design is one of the areas where humans continue to excel. To quote, if I may, our Lifetime Achievement Award winner, form follows emotions. I find that sums up the way great design touches us all. Design makes products and services unique, desirable, marketable, and successful. It inspires emotion. Good design shapes the world and makes it a better place, and I am delighted to join with you on this glittering occasion to celebrate it. Thank you.
Archambault, chapeau, as you said. And we are very happy and extremely delighted to welcome to Poland and to Warsaw and to this ceremony the chairperson of the DesignEuropa Awards jury and the president of the World Design Organization, Luisa Bocchietto. Siamo felicissimi che lei è con noi stamattina.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, my fellow jurors, my dear friend, let me say how I'm delighted to be here at the second edition of DesignEuropa Award. I would like to thank to Christian Archambault and his team at EUIPO for all the work that has gone into organizing this edition. I would also like to say a sincere thank you very much to my fellow jurors, and all of whom had a real difficult job. When we met in Alicante this summer to choose 4 finalists in each of the 2 categories, we were impressed by the standard and quality of applicants. It was a highly competitive field. So to our 8 finalists today, I will say this: you are all winners today. Regardless of which of you goes home with a trophy, by being here today, you have demonstrated the excellence of your job and your design. We are living in a rapid changing world. We are standing on the cusp of the 4th Industrial Revolution, which is bringing a huge array of disruptive technologies into our lives. And design is at the heart of that change. Artificial intelligence, self-driving car, 3D printing, robotics, the Internet of Things. Even 5 years ago, how often did we talk about any of those topics? Now they are part of our daily discourse. And they are part of the daily life of many designers and design-lead companies. We are also in the middle of another revolution, a sustainable one. We are speeding up, but we are also slowing down. We are slowing down our consumption. We are looking not just how we use things, but how we reuse things too. We are looking at how we travel, how we live, how our daily lives impact in the world. Design is at the heart of that, and our finalist design bear that out too. You know, I'm also the president of the World Design Organization. We have a presence in more than 40 different countries and 6 continents around the world. And I know the power of design. I know design can be an important tool for a development as well. Our organization last year has identified 6 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals in which design community has a critical role to play. Design is important. It can have an impact at global level to protect the planet. Design is a strategic tool. For proof of that, I invite you to consider the career of our Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Armut Essingler. Armut, your motto of form follows emotion, that's echoed around the world through the power of your design. You have always thought ahead, always moved to embrace new technologies, and always placed design where it belongs, at the heart of business. Design is not just a form or a function. It's too much more, and much more today. It is disruptive. It is strategic. It powers growth. It is a valuable business asset. It supports jobs, and it is at forefront of innovation. In the 4th Industrial Revolution, in the circular economy, in the developing world, design matters. As president of the World Design Organization, The promotion and the advocacy of the power of design at all levels is a key objective for me. And today, the design needs to be designed for a better world. So believe me, ladies and gentlemen, when I say that design protection is also important. Design needs to be known and protected. Action like the DesignEuropa Award are extremely welcome in terms of raising awareness of this issue, and I give credit to the EUIPO for this initiative. But I know that more can be done, particularly for small and medium enterprise and individual designers, so they are aware of the need to protect their intellectual property rights. In my role, both now in the World Design Organization and before as a president of Italian Designer Association, ADI, I am aware that many designers do not access the intellectual property rights they need to protect their creativity and innovation. All of us who have a voice and a platform need to spread the word. We need to reach the European global design community and let them know that intellectual property protection matters. Because intellectual property rights are accessible to us as designers even at an early stage of our career. Here is a good example, always Armut. If you look in the register of the German Patent and Trademark Office, you will see an application made in 1968 by a young Armut Esslinger. It's the very first one, I do believe. Thanks to the work done by EUIPO and other intellectual property offices, design protection is more accessible than ever. Application can be done online in a matter of minutes. Registers have been opening for easy search and checking. Now we need to make sure that this message is clearly heard. We need to underline to all designers, no matter they are, that design protection is an integral part of the design process. We need to support them through targeted action and programs to show them how to unlock their intellectual property right. And this is a job for all of us at policy level, at implementation level, and at the representation level. Ladies and gentlemen, as a chair of DesignEuropa Award jury, let me close by saying this. Our 8 finalists today and our Lifetime Achievement Award winner show that design matters. They show its power and its potential. As president of the World Design Organization, I really endorse this initiative. I congratulate EUIPO for organizing it. And I am delighted to welcome you all today to this wonderful venue so that we all together can celebrate good design. Thank you very much indeed, and congratulations for all your works.
Mrs. Bocchetto, thank you very much indeed. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let us hear from us. And by us, I mean the country hosting this wonderful event. May I ask you to welcome Mr. Adam Bielan, the Vice President of Polish Senate.
Ladies and gentlemen, all distinguished guests, thank you very much for the invitation for this wonderful ceremony. I'm very honored that Poland can host this event. As I understand, 2 years ago it was organized in Milan, one of the centers of European trademarks rights. And I'm very honored that this year it could be Warsaw. As you know, 2018 is a very special year for Poland. We're celebrating 100th anniversary of regaining the independence. In 1918, it was a true, real miracle, regaining independence after over 120 years of partition of Poland, when Poland didn't exist on the map of Europe. And it's very symbolic that one of the first decisions of Polish authorities was to establish Polish Office of Patent. And it's a proof that here in Poland, in our history, we understood how important is to celebrate international intellectual property rights. I'm very grateful that you decided to organize this event in Warsaw, also because I was informed that 2 out of 8 finalists are from my home country. I don't know whether they achieved anything in this, on this field, but I wish all participants the best in the future. Yesterday's gala was a very good opportunity to discuss the situation with intellectual property rights in EU. I discussed this with Christian, and he informed me that only 10% of small and medium companies in Europe decided to send their application to Alicante, to EUIPO. We understand that this number is too low. We have to do everything to increase this number, and I think that we need more educational campaigns, especially in Central and Eastern Europe, in post-communist countries. We have to understand that out of these 100 years, only 50 years, Poland and many countries in our region as well were truly independent, truly sovereign. So we need more education in young generation, more educational campaigns directed to small and medium companies in order to inform them what are the advantages of registering trademarks. So thank you very much for this opportunity to inform actually also Polish media. Thank you for your presence here. What are the advantages of this process? Thank you very much.
Mr. Bilan, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, design is not just about beauty and aesthetics.
Although it's mainly about it.
True, but it's more than that. Design is also about market relevance and results.
Design is at the heart of new technologies, new services, and new products. Many high-tech companies were designed and set up by designers themselves, and today they use design as core part of their business strategy. We have some excellent examples of that coming up very soon.
Designers have always led the way in working with sustainable technology too. Shortly, we will see one of our finalist designs bring sustainable design to the next level.
Yes, in this edition we have 2 wonderful designs for public spaces, one for airports and one for our city streets. Design transforms our lives without us even knowing it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are wondering about the future of design, let us tell you that it looks bright. Here in Europe there are over 4,000 universities and higher education institutes offering courses in almost every aspect of industrial design. So we can look forward to many more excellent designs in the future.
So now let's look up to our grand jury, because as you can imagine, this beautiful jury had a really difficult challenge and task. The high standards of the entries was just one of the reasons.
Our jurors were looking at visual appeal, of course, but they were also looking at many other things. Marketing strategy, intellectual property rights management, a whole range of things.
A moment ago you heard from Luisa Boglietto, the jury chairperson. So to you, Madam Chairperson, and to all the members of the jury, grand thank you very much. And I think a round of applause is quite needed.
Yeah, true. Ladies and gentlemen, design is the difference. It may be the power of the economy. It helps, for sure, to support employment.
Our DesignEuropa Awards are built on the foundation of registered community design. The registered community design is an intellectual property right valid across the EU.
The registered community design is administered by the European Union Intellectual Property Office, the organizers of this event today.
So let's learn a bit more about the power of design in the European Union.
Design is at the heart of Europe. Design helps employment. Design-intensive industries support over 25 million jobs across our union. Design grows our economy. Design-intensive industries contribute nearly 1.8 trillion euro to the GDP of the European Union. Design powers our trade. Design adds value. Small businesses that use design intensively have revenue per employee that's 17% higher than companies that don't have intellectual property rights.
Our economic studies show that design-intensive industries contribute a significant portion of GDP and employment in the EU as a whole and in virtually every member state. The other good thing about design from an economics point of view is that you can have good design without investing huge amounts of money in R&D. It's more about talent, it's more about knowing your customer. So these are things that even small companies can and often do very well.
The registered community design was introduced across the European Union in 2003. It is administered by the European Union Intellectual Property Office, the EUIPO. One online registration gives design protection in every EU member state. Once a design is submitted, it's examined by EUIPO experts.
We have a lot of SMEs who also try to protect their intellectual property to design applications, and they need support because they are not professionals, they are mostly designers or small companies who have invented a new product, and they like to have the design protection.
It's very exciting because we see many innovative designs. We see many things before they are marketed, and it's really interesting when you register a car and then you see it 2 months after it on the road, and I did it, it was my job.
To date, EUIPO has received more than 1.2 million designs from nearly every country and region in the world. The registered community design protects a huge variety of products.
Sometimes you don't even realize that the things that you receive are actually designs. We have user interfaces and computers. Actually, we have designs from all ranges in the market.
We see everything, from bread to fashion, clothes, or everything.
Great design is more than just a great idea. Behind every design that comes on the market is investment, effort, and innovation. The registered community design is a vital support to the EU's single market.
The RCD is a quantum leap in design protection in Europe. Before it came into place, there was virtually no harmonization. So for the very first time, we have a common understanding about what design protection means.
Design protection at EU and at global level is supported by powerful free databases. DesignView contains over 14 million designs from around the world, all fully searchable. Design Class allows applicants to search and to translate the product indications needed to apply for design protection. Together, they help make design protection more accessible. The registered community design is for everyone, for industry, for small businesses, and for individual designers. It supports companies, employment, and growth. In every part of our European Union, it is an important business asset. For jobs, for prosperity, for Europe.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are absolutely sure about the power of design, but this is the moment when we are happy to announce that we are start giving out awards.
Yes, let's move to the main part of the ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, we begin with the Small and Emerging Companies Award. We have 4 excellent finalists, 4 extraordinary companies, and 4 wonderful stories.
And let's remember the small and medium enterprises are the backbone of the European economy. 21 million businesses in the European Union are small and medium enterprises. That's 99% of all businesses here.
In the last 5 years, SMEs have created around 85% of new jobs in the EU. So that means small companies are punching above their weight in terms of economic contribution.
But this isn't just a category for small companies. This is for small and emerging companies, and that's an important distinction.
Yes, because business is an important accelerant for young companies. It's a powerful startup too.
So with that in mind, let's look at our first finalist design.
There are nearly 18,000 airports in the world. 18,000. And last year, over 4 billion people took scheduled flights on commercial airlines.
And this is a rapidly increasing market. The global air transport network has historically doubled in size once every 15 years or so.
And despite what you might think, we are still taking luggage with us when we fly. 8 out of 10 passengers check it at least one bag when they travel.
And right in the heart of this booming air travel industry, we find our first finalist design in the small and emerging companies category. Let's meet the AirGo 2.0.
My great-grandfather started Marcus Petersen back in 1907 here in Aalborg. My grandfather took over the company afterwards, and also my father was a lot involved in the company and took over the company. And in 1989, he stopped working in the company because he got sick, but we left the workshop. And then later in 2012, when I started up my own company, we took over the workshop. I knew from the beginning that my first employee should be an industrial designer, because I knew that if we should have success, we should go to differentiate in industrial design and not in anything else.
ERGO 2.0 is a fully automatic self-service backdrop for airports. It allows the passengers to check in the luggage themselves. It is designed and built as a modular system where you can add new features even over time to the existing installations. So if there's new requirements for airports, we can add it over time. The main challenges when designing ERGO 2.0 was to design a highly complex machine with lots of technologies and hardware built into it without making it look like a machine.
We have a strong partner because we are working closely together with a software company called Moderna. We have had a lot of export only. All other customers have been around the world.
The reason why we are where we are today is that we have spent so much time in airports. We have observed and spoken to passengers and staff every day and learned a lot about what's going on and what are the future needs and requirements.
So next time I'm dropping my bag off at the airport, I'll keep my eye open for it.
Absolutely.
ERGO 2.0, ladies and gentlemen, our first finalist to design for Small and Emerging Companies Award.
And now a completely different story. Anyone who has ever suffered with cancer or who has seen a loved one suffer knows what a difficult and devastating disease it is. Breast cancer is the second most common cancer of all. Last year, around 500,000 people died from it around the world.
So public awareness campaigns always stress the importance of early detection in this type of cancer. Self-examination and mammographs are important key weapons in our battle against this type of cancer, as they can help to flag up very signs of the disease early on.
Our next finalist design was created to complement standard breast cancer diagnostic methods and screenings. It was developed here in Poland by a team of scientists and researchers. Let's learn more about the Braster system.
Braster device is a medical device class 2A, which is used for early breast cancer detection.
But I think you're strange, like I know I'm strange, and I think that's...
It's not only a medical device per se, this is just a part of the system.
You're the perfect fit for me.
We are offering constant monitoring, where if your lady does once a month examination on herself at home, if something starts developing, some new heat source in her breast, which might be associated with breast cancer, so we can give a warning signal, and then she would go for a regular oncological diagnostic path. In the clinical trials, we were able to find 2 to 3 millimeter size of tumors, which is really small and not possible for a palpation method to find with hand.
We have gone through many different designs, through many different concepts. We have gone up to a point where we had a working prototype of a device that had some flaws, wasn't the best looking, but was a working device that could produce useful results. And at this point in time, we decided to partner with Paisy Group, a Dutch company that specializes in product development, and we worked on various different designs.
It feels like fate. Now you're in my life. And I know
We are proud of what we have achieved. We have many clinical trials that confirm the validity and the usefulness of our device, and we already found some cancers. And hopefully we a little bit helped saving these women's lives, which is satisfactory for me as a CEO.
Raster System is our second finalist design in a small and emerging companies category.
I think we can say we are proud of what we have achieved.
We are.
As both, of course. So now we come to a design for everyone who loves to cycle, believe it or not, but out of all the EU citizens, at least half of us use bikes at least occasionally from time to time.
Almost 20 million bicycles are sold every year across Europe. That's a lot of bikes. So bike parking is important for us all.
Yes, and this is where our next finalist comes in. It's owned by Durbanis, a small company that specializes in street furniture. Our finalist design is their very first bicycle parking system. So it's time to meet the Lock.
I'm very linked to the bicycle industry, to the bicycle world. So we start to say we need to do something different for bicycles.
We started about 10 years ago in Girona with a small workshop making our own molds and own designs. 1 year later appears Alex Fernandez, the designer of Lock, and we start to collaborate.
Just locking my bike, I found like an object that the state of the art and the state of the technique, it's not very high. We started to think about the perfect shape, and it was rounded, but also with a space for the pedal. And also we want to have only one point, but very strong, linked to the floor, because in that way it can be easily, you can clean more easy, you can install more easy. The shape was done just by function, but always trying to make it beautiful, because we think that beautiful things are the most sustainable ones.
Of course, the color is one of the advantages, but also this material avoids the scratches on the bicycles.
Yes, it's a bicycle object, but it also belongs to the neighborhood, because everybody's watching it, Everybody's feeling it.
If we don't work about the design, we must close.
Whoever invented this, he must cycle.
True.
He knows how important that is. Urbani is maybe a small firm, but it's making big inroads in the street furniture market. It's exporting, as you heard, around 90% of its products. They are present all around Europe, but also in the Gulf and in the United States.
And now a different angle on design. We hear a lot about the circular economy these days. The concept breaks the old take, make, use and dispose pattern of consumption and creates something sustainable in its place.
So think about it this way. As EU consumers, we generate 25 million tons of plastic waste with very low recycling rates. This means, among others, that immediately after we use this plastic, we lose its economic value. But, however, one small company, it's called Donar, is doing the best to give old plastics new life through the power, of course, of design.
Yes, our next finalized design is a perfect example of the circular economy in action, made with recycled materials, including plastic bottles. It has sustainability at its core. Let's meet the Nicolas.
We don't think the customer is the king, like everybody says, because on the first place we always put environment. Our biggest point is waste as industrial material of the future, and that's where we see sustainability of the chair, plus of course understanding design as emotional value, so something that people keep for a long time and even later on goes from generations to generations.
Material is made from the plastic bottles. In each our seats, it's about 60 bottles inside. That's the reason why we are so recyclable and so green oriented with this product.
I also believe that design should be good and everybody could afford it, and that would be the best impact of design on society.
The main challenge with this chair was how to make him strong. We try a lot in the factory with many composition of this material, then we try with many temperature options.
We actually started officially selling it beginning this year. The idea was to have the chairs always in stock so we can sell immediately. Currently we are without the stock, so we are always thinking where we can fill the gap that nobody has explored before. So I hope, Nicolas, that's my wish with all the products that we do, that 30, 40 years down the road, when I'm gone, people will still have them at home, and that for me would be the greatest recognition. And at the end, it is really important that the design suits society and at the end the planet the best way.
And as it often happens, less is more as well. And Nicolas is, of course, a very important part of very important sector for the European economy. 1 million people across our union works in the furniture industry.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it. That's it. 4 fantastic designs for great companies. Now I think you understand how difficult the task was for the jury. But may I ask now Mrs. Luisa Bocchetto, the chairperson of the jury, to come here on the stage, and joined by Mr. Adam Bielan. Yes, please. Could you please welcome here? We'll be revealing, ladies and gentlemen, we will be revealing the winner in the first category, Small and Emerging Companies Award.
This is the moment to open the envelope.
I open. And the winner is of the DesignEuropa Award 2018 in the Small and Emerging category is Ergo 2.0 by Marcus Pedersen.
Absolutely shocked, saw it. They hide your face in their hands. What a moment.
Congratulations. We'd like to express our congratulations.
Yeah, please stay for a moment.
But also to ask you, what does it mean for your company? What does this award mean to you?
It's of course very important. Actually, Sarah and I, we started 4 years ago in a very small workshop where we built the first unit ourselves. And now, 5 years later, maybe we have units in India and Hamburg and in, where's Sarah? In Germany, in the US, in Canada. So, and we started up in an airport where Sarah worked every day in the airport to understand the passengers and the users in general. So it's a very big moment for us and for our company, and also for the airport in Aalborg that supported us in the beginning. So thank you very much.
And we want to ask as well, what does it mean for the designer?
Yeah. Well, it's, yeah.
Yeah, it's shocking.
It is shocking, yeah.
But you are doing just fine.
Yeah, it's yeah. I'm so honored to be standing here, and it's really nice that design can also make a big difference in a sector like ours. Yeah. And it's being recognized all over the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Our first winner of the day, congratulations to them, of course. But let's keep that in mind, that the excellence of all our finalists was extremely high, and that is the story of all the participants of our incredible event.
That is true. We had a huge amount of entries from all over the world, all of them very high standards and quality, so every single one of our finalists can consider themselves a winner.
True. Now to the industry awards. The industry categories for RCDs owned by companies which have more than 50 employees and more than 10 million euro in turnover. Our industry finalists all prove the power of design on a grand scale.
They certainly do. These designs belong to companies that are heavily internationalized. They have a global reach and strong export markets. They are all based here in the European Union, and they are part of an extraordinary success story of design-intensive industry in terms of export trade.
So trade and design go hand in hand. In fact, the larger the company, the more likely it is to say that design is an integral element for its business.
So, without further ado, let's meet our finalists in this category.
Our next design is a medical device that is astonishing in its complexity and innovation. It fuses design and the most advanced technology, all with the aim of providing better patient care.
The medical device sector is hugely important for the European Union. It employs nearly 700,000 people and has a total sale of over 110 billion euro. And one of the best known and most important companies in that sector is Siemens Healthineers, the owner and our first finalist design in the industry category. Ladies and gentlemen, let's discover the Artis Pheno.
The special focus why we have developed the Artis Pheno is to support minimally invasive procedures. Typically, a C-arm is used for interventional or intraoperative imaging. So during a procedure, we can have immediate control, for example, of the position of devices or of the position of anatomy. This is a device which all surgical specialties can use, and the robot gives it the flexibility to really be positioned for all of those surgical disciplines. Our company exists since the 19th century. We have actually introduced our first device for X-ray already in 1896. And that is a remarkable date, I think, because it's only 1 year after X-ray has been invented in 1895 by Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen.
Intellectual property is an essential asset of our company. We first of all harvest inventions, trademark and design concept at very early stage in the development of products and services, and we use all different kinds of statutory IP rights to protect the IP base.
The major challenge we were facing when designing Artis Pheno is the high complexity of the system. So as a designer, you always have to consider the whole system instead of focusing on one little detail. And I think we overcome it by having a really close collaboration between design and engineering and living an iterative design process.
The intention and goal was to transform the high complexity, functional and rough appearance of an industrial robot, giving it a kind of sensible, sculpture, human touch.
A friendly design of the system is important to reduce anxiety of the patients.
Challenge was to embed all the requirements into an iconic look and into a magic appearance in the end. And I think that is one thing we managed.
Siemens Healthineers is a world leader in medical technology. The company was born 170 years ago, and there are 40,000 people working for this company worldwide.
Yes, and it's a proof that medical devices can be beautiful. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's switch to a completely different discipline. One market that has been rapidly growing over the past years is the outdoor furniture sector. Over the next 5 years, the global outdoor furniture market is expected to be worth more than 6 billion euro. That includes, of course, furniture like park benches, bars, restaurants, and even your furniture next to your house.
Our next finalist design is in the industry category. Is a set of outdoor furniture created by a family firm, Gandia Blasco. And family firms are an important motor of growth here in the European Union. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the dogs.
The company was created by my father in 1941, and we were producing blankets. When I arrived to the company, the economic situation was not very good. So I concentrate the production of the company in drugs. In 1996, I built a house in Ibiza, and I was in need of outdoor furniture for my terraces. I couldn't find what I wanted, and then I decided to design. After we have designed this collection, I thought, why not also try to sell outdoor furniture? Time ago, I was desiring to have a modular collection. I like very much the idea of the pallets as a piece that putting together with other ones, we could build a sofa, we could build a space.
Docs nace de un análisis que nosotros hacemos de cómo es nuestra actitud cuando estamos al exterior y de la multiplicidad de cosas que podemos hacer. Podíamos hacer un módulo sobre el que, al colocar diferentes cojines y respaldos que son intercambiables entre sí, podíamos generar esa infinidad de combinaciones.
El diseño, más allá de una cuestión formal, nosotros lo entendemos como una estrategia. Hay una serie de elementos que son fundamentales, ¿no? El registro.
Que las empresas protejan esos diseños y que nosotros como diseñadores o lo hagamos activamente o estemos detrás para que eso se produzca.
And again, this is a perfect example how an innovative company can use design to make a difference, to drive growth and export trade. Gandia Blasco sells its product to over 90 countries all around the world and is well known as a leader in a very competitive market.
For our third finalist design in the industry category, we enter the Internet of Things, and we are very happy that we come back to Poland. The design brings high-tech right into your home.
Exactly. Intercom Smart Video Doorbell is designed and manufactured by Fibaro. It's a part of a dynamic and growing economic sector. Some predictions say that Internet of Things market is expected to be worth around €3 trillion worldwide by 2025. It's not often that we come to pronounce trillions, right? Trillions.
Too often.
Let's have a look.
Fibaro Intercom is high-end smart video doorbell. It's for people who want to have contact with their home.
Intercom has a lot of functionalities. One of the most important is to have proximity with Bluetooth in your mobile phone. It's very useful because you don't need to use any keys, you don't need to say anything, just go to the gate or go to the door, and the door or gate are open automatically.
The inspiration of the Fibaro Intercom was an eye, a human eye, because this device is similar. The device will keep an eye on the home, family, security and safety. Every project, every devices in Fibaro are inspired by organic shape found in nature.
Fibaro right now is an 8 years old company. Maybe from different markets it's not too long, but from the smart home perspective, we have almost the biggest experience on this market.
We have our own factory in Poland, so some new products, some new prototypes, and the products close to be launched to the market is under our control and not revealed too soon. We have go to the market only after information from a legal department that all designs, all rights are protected properly.
Everything is going one way, the way we are calling Internet of Things. In the future, we are going to be more autonomous. The home will be learning the daily behavior of our customers.
Have you noticed this rain outdoor? I hope that Fibaro made also smog detection system.
Yeah,
Close the windows.
They should, for sure. And Fibaro and its products, high-tech products, are present in more than 100 countries. So this is our Polish and European bridge to a high-tech future.
Exactly. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move to a finalist design which keeps us warm and cozy in winter. This design is part of a vibrant industrial sector in EU that is heating, ventilation and cooling.
Our finalist design is beautiful and efficient. Ladies and gentlemen, from Tubes Radiatori, the origami.
Tubes è nata orientativamente nel 94 perché c'era la volontà dei soci di trasformare l'azienda di installazione precedente in un'azienda industriale. Si analizzava il mercato dei caloriferi, i caloriferi era un settore che ci piaceva molto, non c'erano prodotti estetici, non c'erano prodotti di design e di conseguenza abbiamo iniziato a percorrere quel tipo di strada. E quindi presentando alla clientela questa tipologia di prodotti, quindi molto estetici, curati nei dettagli, sembrava una cosa assolutamente inesistente. Con Alberto Meda invece abbiamo ragionato con uno step successivo in una direzione ancora diversa, che è quella dell'utilizzatore finale, del cliente privato, che può acquistare un prodotto e portarlo a casa, metterlo in funzione, accenderlo, regolarlo anche con gli smartphone e tutte queste tecnologie nuove, e quindi diventa assolutamente indipendente. Per Tubes è un'altra scommessa, cioè è un altro step.
Ho pensato che uno schermo che ti dà la possibilità di avere una situazione più privata, quindi psicologicamente più gradevole per chi sta facendo un lavoro in solitario, potesse avere anche integrata la funzione riscaldante. Quindi l'idea di avere anche un benessere termico, quindi un benessere fisico, quindi un benessere psicologico e fisico, ecco l'integrazione di questi due aspetti.
Il disegno è estremamente importante, tant'è che abbiamo il problema di far capire al nostro cliente che quello è un prodotto per il riscaldamento.
Outstanding, exactly. And this is another example of a great, dynamic and design-led company. Tubes Radiatori is very well known in the radiatory manufacturing design sector, both in Europe and globally. It invests heavily in design, not only to stand out, but also to inspire in its own way.
Ladies and gentlemen, these were our 4 finalists, each one different, each one unique, but all linked by the protection of the registered community design.
So now, let's find out who has won. May I ask the chair of the budget committee at EUIPO, Sandris Laganowskis, and the president of the Polish Patent Office, Alicja Adamczak, to present the Industry Award.
Śmiało, coraggio. This is the moment. I love the sound of the envelope that is opening. Yeah. A little bit closer to the mic would make it easier, madam.
I have pleasure to announce that the winner of the DesignEuropa Awards 2018 in the industry category is Artis Pheno by Siemens Health.
Congratulations. What a group of talented people. And they all have short 10-minute speeches, so we'll have a short coffee break after that. I think that was the question, who is the head of the team? The woman, as always, right?
So can we please ask you to tell us, what does it mean for you?
First the photo?
For the photo first?
Yeah? Oh,
go ahead.
Let's do the photo. First design, then the sound.
That is the moment of well-deserved fame. 5 minutes for you. So
right,
please.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy we won this award. For me, it means a lot. Artis Pheno was my very first project in the working world. And but it wouldn't have happened thanks to our really great engineers who have to suffer a lot with us. I'm really happy. I can't say too much. Maybe anyone else?
Go ahead.
How about the company?
Yeah. Also, thank you very much. Also, a very special thanks to the EUIPO and all the great colleagues there who supported us here, making also this great video. And it was a very long way from the application with a lot to do, and now we're very happy that we won this award, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And congratulations, of course.
Again.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the design at its core is very human discipline. It depends on individual vision, creativity, and innovation.
Exactly, and one designer can change the world of design. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Hartmut Esslinger. He's a leader in his field.
And he has worked with the biggest names in the world: Sony, Microsoft, Siemens, Disney, Lufthansa, Louis Vuitton, and of course, Apple.
In Silicon Valley, they called him the German guy. He was European, making his mark on global markets. He's a teacher, an innovator, a leader, a writer, a visionary. Ladies and gentlemen, let us invite you now to watch a short movie about the persona and the lifetime as well, of our Lifetime Achievement Award winner, Hartmut Esslinger.
It's a pretty convenient positioning to be a rebel, because you can break the rules when you have to. I grew up in a tiny village. We only were 8 students, 1 class. Parents were not nice, to be polite. It was a constant fight. Yeah, I think in the beginning it's a lot of curiosity. I got a Cadillac model once, a little model which didn't fall off the table. So I opened it up and took it apart, and all the pieces went into a cookie box. So that was my first explorative project at age, I was really a kid. In the army, you got 1 year gifted on engineering school, so they would attract you, build up NATO. And then I studied electronic design, but also built amplifiers myself. And then one day the professor said, Eslinger, you think too complicated. It's not going to work with you. But there's this crazy guy over there, there's a job called design. And I went there and I said, what? It's all normal, what is it? Why is it a job? Okay, naturally, then came study with Carl Dittert, and I learned that it is a job, and it's not so easy. And but I was happy. I always thought the company and its customers and its people are like a cultural unit. And so when I worked for one company, it was something like this, and with another company, something like that. I never had a personal style. It always was the result of a discussion and an exploration. Sony was visually not so revolutionary, but because of Morita and Olga being these cool kids, you know, not so un-Japanese, it was a success because they succeeded with it. And then, when Morita started giving the Walkman and the Discman and this stuff, it became a symbol, but it was, without Morita, nobody would have cared. Steve Jobs was a difficult guy, as you know, very complex. But he thought I had something from Sony, what he saw at Sony, just to get him out of the morass of Silicon Valley, this tasteless thing, and also become a global success. And he said, what do you think of my design? I said, it's horrible, let's not discuss this. But what do you want? I want millions of computers. So back then, IBM, HP, everything was a business computer. Even the local personal computing industry like Commodore and Atari games, there were always this specific either business, small business, corporate business, or hobbyists. And nobody was consumer-minded. Consumers are billions. And it's not just 50,000 business computers a year you find with IBM for a little thing. And then we went consumer. And that naturally was a risky move, but it was a good move, yeah. mean, we build hundreds of models. You only get, this is a problem with digital design system today, there's too much rendering. And then you have in the end the idea with lines. And also the part parallel to this whole thing went projection. So we foresaw that it would be a computer, the phone in the pocket, tablets. Creative kid, whatever we call it, you start then to live in a dream world. You dream of things. And I think that's what I still do today. Naturally, my life is really good. There's no reason to dream, but I still dream.
What an incredible story, a living icon, and what a privilege to have you, sir, here with us today. Let me now invite the Executive Director of the European Union Intellectual Property Office, Christian Archambault, back to the stage to present the awards to Mr. Esslinger.
Well, what a conclusion to this event, and how such an appropriate award for Life Forge Achievement to Mr. Hartmut Esslinger. Congratulations.
Actually, my wife recommended I take some notes. Okay. Yeah, I'm close to tears, I must say. Even should get used to it, some say, but very different. Okay, dear everybody, dear humans, people, and thanks to the jury, Luisa and all. Okay, first I want to give credit to my wife, Patricia Roller, because without her, Frog would not exist as it does today. And I think my career would have been much different. She's kind of the corrective in the family. Also from Black Forest, you know, the work ethics in the Black Forest is we love to work, but the light must be bright, because we work at night. Okay. Just some brief comments, and I hope as an inspiration, young and also older ones. Okay, it's funny that you mentioned, Luisa, the patent 50 years ago. I started the company as a student, and in Germany you have to file for a business permit. And Schwäbisch Gmünd, actually, thanks for the memories of my school. Actually, my second son also went there as a digital designer. That shows how they grew up. And I want to file a business for design, and the guy in Schwäbisch Gmünd, knowing designers a little bit, said, come back when you make some money. And as a diploma, I don't have a diploma yet. I said, okay. I insisted, okay, if you really want to, we give it to you. But anyway, so Schwäbisch Gmünd has the honor that it's the original filing of Frog. Later, then, they liked it. Anyway, as I have to, I think Olga-san, Morita-san, and Steve Jobs were mentioned. Other ones were mentioned. Dieter Modde, the CEO back then and owner of Vega, this little tiny company, who had actually to build TV sets for Braun. And I felt this was kind of degrading for a Schwabian company in South Germany to work for other company who I found the designs back then a bit, Dieter Ramsberg, forgive me, but I found it really boring. If it comes to the rebels thing, we were young and not much has changed. But coming to the essentials of design, I mean, it's now 50 years ago I started this, and economically, really, design has moved into a dramatic fashion, economically, socially, and also in ecological, cultural importance. When we studied, and I think the inspiration came from Italy, Bonetto, Bellini, Colombo, all these cool kids. And then we thought, okay, if Italy does it, German industry, we can do it too. But German industry, except for Dieter Modde and very few ones, didn't want it. Form follows function, abused into form follows boredom. Still a big point. And I think that statistics of only 11 or 12% companies putting design centerpiece is still too low. Should be 100%, because everybody who doesn't put design centerpiece is a bit naive. And natural design was a niche thing. And then, lucky enough, outside of Germany, people invited me. Thought, okay, this is a crazy kid, why not? We try it. In Japan, they said, Hartmut, 1 year, just watch us, don't do nothing. But I did. And then Steve Jobs, okay, that's another story, you can read the book, I want to keep it short. But we really changed the world. And that was crazy. I mean, with Sony, we conquered America and Europe. With Apple, we conquered the world. It's the number one companies today in the world, including automotive, other industries, are defined by design. And still many people don't get it. So I'm thankful that I met those very few, also Henri Macamier of Louis Vuitton, the very few who really were willing to take the risk to do the crazy thing and really change things for the better. And creativity is also a big issue. And I hope, actually my life can inspire a little bit some parents to allow the kids to be creative, to teach us, allow your students to be creative, be crazy, do stupid stuff. And it cannot be explained. If you don't have it, you don't have it. But if you have it, you're responsible to work hard. And it's also ambiguous, it's illogical. Sometimes an idea has no sense, suddenly it makes sense. So it also means risk. And my life is not only success, it's also full of failures. So some know I'm a fan of football, not much to be happy as a German-born kid this year. My club is also last in the table, Stuttgart. But I'm thankful for Poland to give us some good players to win the World Cup, like Miroslav Klose. Very important. So maybe if my life is a soccer game, it's 4-5. I lead. And so I think just when we have an idea, we also must respect there is a logical part of the politics, society, and also business. And we work in a network system. But I think we have one ethical application, which is create and don't copy, and also don't pollute. Which brings me to the Katowice climate conference next week, I think. And that means we all, also politically, not just designers, we must make positive contributions. A small one was at Apple when we looked at, we make 1 million Macs, for example. I said we have to stop painting because it's poisonous inside, outside. And then Steve agreed, and we had a big fight. We went to GE, got a new material, Lexan Plus, even had to smuggle it to Korea, to Samsung, to make their monitors. But it reduced chemical waste, enabled separation for recycling, and also reduced cost. So at least that was a trend. I'm happy that people copy it. Then finally, okay, keep it short, simple. Okay, I'm a citizen both of Germany, which has still a great historic debt to Poland, and I visited a lot of the places yesterday. And the national United States of America, really a bad thing over there. My hopes are that the European leadership, with a sense also of positive progress, not only IP legislation, integration in general, gives a good example to the world, because we need a better world for our children tomorrow. So thank you very much, and Chikwe Chi Parcho.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hartmut Esslinger, our Lifetime Achievement winner. What a man, what a story.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your presence today. What a day to remember.
True. We have had two terrific and well-deserved winners, the Ergo 2.0 from Markus Pedersen, designed by Sarah Clements in the small and emerging company category, and the Artis Pheno, owned by Siemens Healthineers, designed by Nadia Roth from Siemens and Tobias Riese from a design in the industry category. Our warmest congratulations to our winners and our warmest congratulations to all the finalists.
Exactly.
They do deserve that.
Because everyone's a winner today. The second edition of Design Europa Awards had hundreds of entries from all across the world, showing the strength and power of design and the strength of the registered community design.
Design supports jobs, it powers our economies. Here in Poland and all across the European Union, we see the power of the design and innovation. Our finalists and winners are proof of the fact that design makes a difference.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for being with us today in this very beautiful building in Warsaw. And before you go, we would like to invite all the winners here on stage for a final photograph.
First, our winners. Hartmut Esslinger, of course.
Yes.
And the Ergo 2.0 and Artis Pheno. Ergo 2.0 from Markus Pedersen, designed by Sarah Clements, and Artis Pheno, owned by Siemens Healthineers. One of the last final photos. Hartmut Esslinger, Lifetime. Please stay, and now we would like to invite all the finalists to the stage. Please join us. This fantastic group of talented, innovative people. Such an incredible vision and passion for innovation.
Don't hesitate, let's come.
You're coming.
If I may ask you just to... Can I move you a little bit? So that everyone have a place.
All of you here, please get back to Poland. To all of you online, please come to Poland. It was a pure pleasure to spend this day with you. What a magnificent ceremony, and what a perfect example of European cooperation and European innovation spirit. Thank you so much.
Truly inspiration. Thank you so much for your talent.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.